Hey folks, welcome back to Mark Kelly Farm. Beautiful spring-like day here in Nebraska. We're loving it. It got up to 60 degrees today. Ruby must be getting warm. Want to roll in the snow. So, being as we're having such a nice day, we're going to look around the farm and check out what we got going. The driveway finally dried up, so we were able to re-scrape that and get out all of our ruts. We had a pretty messed up driveway with all that mud, but it looks good now. We don't have a lot of snow left. All we have is where we have the big piles that were piled up. These were like 8 feet tall, and this pile was clear out to here and huge. I put the bulk of the snow right here in this pile, but it's only about 2 feet deep now. Kelly's been out here working in the chicken coop. The girls and Mr. Cat there are loving life in this weather. We went into the farm store this morning and they had chicks. Kelly got the bug, but we have plenty of laying hens here. What's up, girls? And Cat. Cat's the big gray one right here in front of us. Ruby likes to chase the chickens and run up on the wire and try to get them to jump. It's one of her favorite pastimes. Kelly's trying to break her of that. Ruby. To head out to the bees. Yesterday we had a warm day, but the wind kept blowing like it is today. But we had some cloud cover, so it never really warmed up and the bees didn't fly. I put some syrup out for them yesterday in case they did come out. They could get a little jump start on spring because there's no flowers where they can get any nectar yet. And it's been a long, hard winter for them. Hopefully they've come through the winter all right. So it's a little warmer today, even though we got a breeze. So let's go out and check on them today. I didn't see any activity yesterday. Well, it's a good sign when you can hear them about 30 feet away when you're walking in. Yeah, bees are alive and well. Boiling out of that box. Very nice. Brought you a drink there, girls. Looks like a few of them have found it. I spread a little bit of it on the wood there. So it won't be long they'll be crawling in there, but they need to find it soon because tomorrow we're supposed to get snow again, believe it or not. But awful proud of these girls. They had a long, hard, cold winter and they did just fine. Again, second year in a row where they've come out of winter really strong, even though we've been down into the 30 below wind chill. I think our box here that we developed the year before last, pretty good concept. We painted it dark so it would warm up sooner in the mornings when the sun hit it. And it seems to be working great. Once the temperatures come up and stay up a little bit, we can remove this box and expose the hives. But they are doing real well. I could sit and watch bees all day. The box has a little crack under it right there. Some of the bees are coming underneath. The other side doesn't have that. But they're getting out. There goes the bee venturing in there. Once they find that, they'll be boiling in and out of that thing, getting that sugar. Fascinating little creatures. Now these bees that you see flying around out here today, probably their first time outside because the bee life cycle is only about 60 days and it's been longer than that since the bees have been out because of the cold weather. So we know the queen's been doing her job, otherwise there wouldn't be any bees left. They'd all be dead. So both hives have a good, strong, active queen. And being these bees have done good with no treatment whatsoever for the last 2 years. And before I got them, they were just sitting out in the grassy field for Lord knows how long in some old broken down hives. There's some beekeepers that would love to get some queens off of these 2 hives here because they're really strong natural honeybees and be a very good bloodline to introduce into your bees. But they're doing what's called like an orientation flight right here since they've never been out. That's why they stick close to the hive and just kind of buzz around, because they come out, look around a little bit. Bees, when they're out flying, actually fly by landmarks and kind of like using a map like we do. So they come out and they get some landmarks, and then each time they fly out, they'll fly a little bit further using the landmarks that they know to get back. That's why whenever you move a hive, they recommend that you move it up to 5 miles away, so the bees don't use the same landmarks and come back to where the hive was and not where the hive is new. So back when we used to capture swarms, we would always make sure once we captured them that we were moving them more than 5 miles away from where they were swarming, because if you didn't, chances are that swarm would end up right back in that same place, or some of the bees. But most of them would be attracted to the queen, of course, in the hive, but the foragers would go out and kind of get lost. These are the 2 hay bales that Kelly had for decoration in the fall. I'm going to bust them up and put them on top of our asparagus bed right here to help keep the weeds down. The asparagus will poke right up through it. Our compost pile actually made compost this year because we've had some moisture. Let's go take a closer look at that. I just rolled it with the tractor earlier because Brandy gets out here and eats chicken poop after Kelly dumps it out here on the pile, so I got to make sure it's stirred in. But this pile is pretty much done. We probably won't add any more to this. We'll let some of this chicken poop break down. We've got another almost 2 months before we plant out, so that'll give this stuff to break down and compost just a little bit more. And there's such a big pile here, and as little chicken poop as we put on here, it won't be terribly hot. But once we start mowing and all that other stuff, we'll start a new pile over here for next year, and then this will be the pile that we use this year. But you can see it's broken down really nice. It's almost unrecognizable now. It looks like dirt pretty much, and that's the sign of a great compost pile. We still have some snow in here too, because when we had a big snow, I rolled some snow into the pile so there'd be some moisture on the inside as it melts. But looks fantastic. We're going to be using that in the garden, mulching our rows to keep the weeds down in the rows where the garden is. Ruby, get out of there. You get a stick? That's a pretty big stick there, kid. You gonna go show Mom? You gonna show Mom your stick? Got a couple of our eastern red cedar trees over here that we planted in the fall. I know they look dead, but that's what they look like in the winter. You can see some more up there in the corner that we planted up there. They're kind of the same color, but the needles on them are still nice and soft. They're going to do just fine. The lake has finally subsided back here in our food plot area. You can see we didn't get anything sprouted during the fall, but I'm hoping all this moisture will get things sprouted here in the spring, and maybe some of that seed survived. You never know. Maybe it rotted in all the water. But we had all the water come down out of that hill, if you remember. Had quite a pond down in here, but we're going to try to get this going again, even if we have to reseed it here in the spring. The garden's looking real good because we put it to bed nicely. If this was actually spring, it wouldn't be long we can get out here and plant, but this is what we call our fool's spring here in Nebraska, because it's 60 some degrees today and it'll be back down below freezing tomorrow. Pretty crazy. Supposed to get some snow tomorrow, like we said. And then in 2 days it's supposed to be 6 degrees. So that's why we call it Fool's Spring. Feels beautiful out here today, but soon to turn around and be cold again. I'm hoping our fruit trees aren't thinking it's time to wake up, because they will be sorely mistaken. See if we can see any buds pushing on here. Not quite yet, so maybe they're a little smarter than some people. I planted this post last fall and it's had plenty of time to firm up now. So what I did is I'm replacing this post here that's got our hose bracket and everything on it, our rain gauge. I'm going to put it down over here because it's closer to the bottom of the hill than this one is. And this is a straight shot right down through our fruit orchard. So when I coil the hose on here, when I uncoil it, it's a straight shot to roll it and unroll it right down this lane if we have to water by hand for some reason. But we'll take some of the height off of that post. That'll be our new stand. Also need to get our garden gate done here. I need to put 2 good posts in, make a nice walk-through gate here. Right now I just have a wire holding the end of the panel closed. There's an 8-foot panel here that swings off of this post, so I just have to undo the wire and open it up. But I'd like a nice garden gate entrance here with maybe an arbor over the top that we can grow something on. So that's the plan this year. One of our first thing this spring is to get our windmill up. That's our tower out there. And we're going to put our windmill right over here, I believe. Right in this kind of this corner here next to the bush and the faucet. And we're going to put right there. It's not too close to that power line. We're back far enough away. But that's our idea where to put it. But I want to get with Kelly and make sure that that's where it's going to go before we go to the trouble of putting it in. But we'll stand the tower first, get it all concreted in nice, and then we'll have a boom truck come out and put the rotor and everything, the head and everything up on top. It's in the shed or in the barn raring to go, just waiting for the tower. I apologize for the wind, if you can hear that on the microphone. Put the drone up today if I could, but I think it's a little too windy for that. I can't wait to get that out on a nice calm day and fly it around, give you some cool shots from that. Let's go in the greenhouse and see what we need to do in here. Looks like we need to sweep a bit, of course, and clean up a bit, get ready to starting some trays in here. See what we are in here. We're 110 degrees on the thermometer. It's a little warm in here. Normally if we had plants in here, we'd have this fan in the window. We have it on a timer. It's off right now, but would be blowing cool air in here. And then we have a milk house heater we put in here for nights when it gets below freezing early in the season. Oh, it's right there. But we have that just to bring the chill off in here at night. We got this at Junk this year, if you remember, a giant colander we can wash vegetables in coming out of the garden. But we got a little tidying up to do in here, but it won't take long. Be a good morning project when it's a little chilly outside. It'll be nice and warm in here. And then we'll get these grow tubs back outside and get stuff in them. Our blackberries are starting to show some green on top. They might be waking up. I should probably take them out of the greenhouse, but we'll leave them in here for a while. We've got no shortage of projects in the shop to do as well. Remember, we have this John Deere hit and miss engine that we're working on. I went down yesterday to the guy that is working on my igniter and my magneto. He's doing a really good job on those. They're looking really good. He's waiting for a couple parts, but he's already recharged the magnet for the magneto, and he's already rebuilt the igniter. It's completely done, painted and everything. He's doing a fantastic job. Now, on Monday, a few days ago, I acquired this. This is an old Maytag engine that used to run washing machines in your grandma or your great-grandma's back porch. I've got it stood up right now because I put some oil in the cylinder to help lube things up. But this is the way it sits here. Had the little Kickstarter foot thing to get it going. But this is how they ran washing machines back in the day. Had a little belt on here that would run the agitation on your washer and also run the wringer. And it ran on gas. And you had a little thing that hooked here with a flexible metal tubing in here. You would run out the wall to make the exhaust go outside. But this was a good deal. The guy just gave it to me. So we want to clean this up and get this working as well. And I did some work on our grain mill yesterday. Got everything freed up to where it spins now. Got all the mechanism freed up, had it all taken apart. But I put it back together just so none of the parts got lost. It's got a lot more refurbishing to do. We'll do a video on this, refurbishing this. And also our corn, what you call it? Man, words escape me nowadays. This is a corn sheller. You put the cob through this and it strips all of the kernels off the cob. Turn it by hand. It's upside down right now. This mounts to the table or whatever you're going to mount it to. But this will be a good complement to that. If we want to grow some feed corn, we can grow quite a bit up top. And we can actually grind corn for the chickens or whatever animals we may have around the farm with these two items here. I've got all that wood there for a project I'm doing for my cousin for the high school prom. She wants some stars made. That'll probably be the next project you see. We'll do that. Show you how to put those together. It'd be a neat little woodworking project that we can do. We've also got this iron here that we're going to deal with. If you remember from some of our past videos, we have two blades we're going to use to make a hiller attachment. And then we have this big auger that we're going to cut way down and make a lot bigger auger for our post hole digger so we can dig like tree holes with it and stuff. And then our little 3-point little hoist thingy here that we'll make something out of. I've got to get my little trailer cleaned off so we can get the overseeder back to its owner. And if you see on here, we have the top of a windmill tower. We have to check the tower that we have to make sure that our windmill will go on our tower. If not, we need to put this piece here on top of our tower. It just bolts into the top because this is the one from our windmill. So if the one out there matches the same dimensions and everything, we can just use the ones on the tower. But this actually has some pieces as well that are missing from the other one. Even if that tower is a good one, we can take some pieces off of this that we need on that tower. We've also got our trailer that needs a little work that we're going to be working on. And then there's also some more stuff we want to do on our grain bin or our bin zebo, whatever you want to call it over there. But you can see, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but it's starting to get a little green in the grass. So it'll be nice when everything greens up again. It just turns absolutely beautiful out here when everything turns green. It's a little bit different than California. In California, everything's green there during the winter and dry during the summer. It's just the opposite here. Everything turns brown in the winter and is green all summer long and fall. It's quite a flip-flop. Also got this project here we're going to do. We're going to make a little garden trailer out of this for when we get a little quad, little four-wheeler, to pull this behind it to haul stuff around, put stuff in. We're going to cut the sheet metal down, and the side of the box will probably be the same height here. We need to redo the hitch because it's longer and heavier than need be. And then we don't need lights on this thing, so there's a light plug on there that we can rob and put on our new trailer that's missing one. And I was unaware that we have the little jack thing already on here. I already have the jack for this, and it'll fit right on there because that's already there, so that's cool. But this is another one of our little welding projects that we'll get going. This will be an easy one here. There we go, part of the project done already. That's sweet. If you remember, we got that jack from the auction the other day, so that's pretty cool. Kelly's pulled all of our rock strawberries out of the strawberry bed. She's going to repaint them for this year. These help out quite a bit. When you have these things out in the strawberry bed, the birds come over there and peck at them, and they figure out that they're no good, and they leave your other strawberries alone. We didn't get any problems in the strawberries last year where we found a half-eaten strawberry, because these really do their job well. It's a good idea. All right, folks. We hope you enjoyed the little spring walk around, or spring-like walk around here on the farm. Got lots of stuff we can do. We just need the weather to do it. So we got a little bit done today. It was nice. But we got a lot more to do, and we're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to spring and getting out in the garden, getting some stuff growing again. It's our favorite time of the year. So I'm going to go in the house and get me some iced tea out of the fridge and do a little chilling out here in the Benzebo. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy. We love you guys. We hope you have a good spring. We know we will.